Hey cousins, how are you guys doing? So I am back today. I figured, so first of all, let me just apologize to you all who I gave out the Zoom link to. It was not working when it was time for me to get ready to set up and make sure everything was working like we did the day before. For some odd reason, the link stopped working and we could not get in touch with customer care to try to fix the glitch and just give us an understanding of what was going on. So I'm not gonna lie, guys. I just got a little tired and drained because it's just been some things going on. Even with this biolab cam thing, it just kind of wore me out a little bit because I was doing protection rituals for me in the community and stuff like that. When you're really using your energy to protect, it kind of drains you. So I've been having to balance myself out. That's one key as being an alchemist, a bruja, a hoodoo, doing hoodoo, voodoo, Apollo, whatever it is, a priestess, whatever it is, you have to learn how to balance yourself out, even when it comes to rest and mental breaks. Because when you do a lot of work, even for the community, you start to get overwhelmed. And sometimes the universe and Most High and our ancestors is telling us that we might need to sit down for a second. So that's what I did. But I came back today to give you guys a little alchemy, and I wanted to give y'all a little alchemy rituals that are going to help. I'm going to show y'all how to do an old alchemy ritual. So like I tell a lot of my students I teach, alchemy is in a lot of the different spiritual paths that you use. It can be found in hoodoo, voodoo, Apollo, Ifa, Santeria. It can be found in mountain conjuring. It can just be found in a lot of Hinduism. It can be found in a lot of different spiritual walks when it comes to conjuring up things. So first we're going to start with this glass bowl, and it needs to be a glass bowl. Don't use plastic. This causes for a glass bowl because we're trying to use natural elements as possible, even with mixing. So you want to use glass. So we're going to use this glass bowl, and then you're going to need some real sea salt. I like using this kind. And I'm just going to hold it like that just in case some of y'all are doing screenshots. And water. This is just some basic water. You don't have to be dramatic and try to go out and get, or you can use whatever water you want. But I'm just saying, if you're not around situations where you can go get river water, lake water, ocean water, moon water, stuff like that, just use a bottled water or faucet water. It don't matter. It's going to get magical once you put your little razzle dazzle on it. So it don't even matter. And then we're going to be using some clear quartz. I love using clear quartz, especially since this ritual does call for you to bury it so that it can get the vibrations and stuff. You're going to bury these with the ritual. So clear quartz is a really good element and mineral to use when you're burying work. So then we're going to use some parchment paper, and you might want to cut a few pieces in case you mess up. So what we do is we write our first and last name with our birthday on the front. And then on the back, we write our intentions and what we want to see the universe bless us with, what we're speaking in existence and what we're conjuring up. So you're going to write all your intentions. If it's I want a house, I want to get married, I want me and my partner to have a great relationship, I want my kids to be good, I want my kids to continue to be well-mannered, stuff like that. Just write it on here, but you're going to write it on the back, okay? So what else will we need? I think that's all, guys. This is really a simple ritual. And like I tell people in alchemy, and sometimes even with hoodoo and voodoo Apollo, you will see that some of the rituals are super basic. I'm telling y'all, it's y'all minds. The ones who run the system has really did that ultra MK and just have really used these screens to really mess up our focus. All this stuff takes is you knowing it's going to work. And I see a lot of people when I help y'all battle with that. Y'all got to know y'all the engine. You're the magic. So you have to make sure that you're guarding and protecting what you put in your mind. If I was you guys, if you're going to do this ritual from here on out, I wouldn't do nothing but watch manifestation videos, videos on money, videos on houses, videos on if you want your spirit to be better, videos on that. I would just watch whatever it is I want to see manifest. That's you putting the work in as well. So let's get started with this ritual. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some salt. And then alchemy, salt represents the body, but it also represents earth element. So we're going to use that. And then we're going to we're going to take the crystals and put it in there like that. And then you would take your petition. And remember I said you would write your first and last name, and you would write the date. And then you would write on the back what you want to see manifest, what you want to conjure up, what you want to see happening in your life. You would just put it in like this. And if you want it to fit inside the bowl, which it doesn't matter, so don't get all stressed out if it looks like this or it's like a bigger piece. Don't stress out, it's still going to get wet. The whole point is now you're using elements to conjure up what you need to work for you. Okay, so like I was saying before, we're using elements to conjure up and to get the message across and to also do alchemy, which is on a scientific level. Us is using elements to bring things to the surface. So with that being said, you have your glass bowl, your real sea salt. I cannot emphasize enough, you guys need real sea salt. You have your clear crystal quartz, and you have your petition. And let me just say this, the petition does not have to be used with parchment paper. It can be used with just regular paper. We have to use what we have. That's what our ancestors used back in the day. So the next thing you would do is you will pour the water. You'll pour the water midway. But this is how it turns out. And guess what? This is the end to this ritual. Well, no, it's not. So, but this is the end to what you have to do right here. So what I would do usually is I would just hold the bowl and get the energy from the elements, and I would soak it all in, and I would just talk to it. I would keep telling the energy what I want, manifestation, things I wrote down. I would just keep repeating and telling the universe, thank you for blessing me with these things. It's already done. Another thing I wanted to tell you guys is the elements you are using is air, fire, water, earth, and spirit. So let me just break this down a little bit. Like I said, the salt is literally, in alchemy, is a representation of body and earth. So what happens is when we add water with real sea salt, it's like a battery. It just, it charges up things and it just gets the message across easier. So when it comes to salt, this is why you want to use salt a lot of times in some of your rituals. I know we were told that salt was basically a cleanse, but salt is also a booster in manifestation. But this is in alchemy. So like I said, this is considered an alchemy ritual. You will have some saying don't ever use salt in your rituals, but I'm telling y'all, salt is a representation of body, earth, and energy. Like it's a battery when it's added with water. So another thing is we're not adding sulfur to this ritual, but sulfur is another natural element that represents the spirit and the soul. And you want to use sulfur in things when you're manifesting or doing protection rituals. So like I said, sulfur is also represented in alchemy, but we use sulfur in Hoodoo and Voodoo. So that's what I'm telling you guys, we use a lot of alchemy in all these different things that we're doing. So to me, it's all kind of like the same, just different terminology. But once you get deeper into alchemy and whatever it is you do, like Hoodoo and Voodoo, you'll understand what I'm saying. So mercury is also another element, but we're not using mercury in this ritual. But mercury is also another element in alchemy that's represented by spirit. And what this is the spirit, the animating force, and the ability to transform. So this is why sometimes, like I know I gave you guys a Hoodoo ritual, and it consists of you guys using an alligator's foot with a mercury dime. This is why we use mercury dime sometimes, because it symbolizes, the force and the ability to transform things. Like I just told you, we use alchemy in a lot of Hoodoo and Voodoo and Palo. So, with that being said, what you would do with this after you manifested and prayed over it, you're going to sit a white piece of cloth over it for 24 hours, and you're going to put it near your bed. So when you sleep at night, you're going to have it on the side or under your bed. It's easy. If your bed is not lifted up off the ground, then just put it on the side. It's not, don't overdo it. So you're going to let this sit for 24 hours, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go outside, you're going to dig up a hole, and you're going to empty the water, the petition, the salt, and the crystals, all the elements you use, you're going to put that back into the ground. And that's when the cooking, like it does a lot of cooking up underneath the ground. So it's going to get a lot of vibrations. So that's really all. This is a simple alchemy ritual that you can do whenever you need help. Whenever a full moon is approaching, it really doesn't matter. But like I said, this is something that you want to incorporate into your life at least once a month. And if you can't bury it in front of your home, you can bury it at the park. It doesn't matter where you bury it. I get a lot of people saying, I can't bury it outside. You can go bury it anywhere you want. Just as long as the moon energy is hitting it, which it doesn't matter. The moon energy is going to hit it regardless. So, I wanted to go into another form of alchemy, which is a horseshoe. Y'all know the horseshoe represents an alchemical process of 20 base metals into gold. The crescent shape is also associated with the moon and cyclical nature. So at the end of the day, when we're using horseshoes, which is a form of metal, an element is a form of metal, you guys have to understand as well that the horseshoe is another element that's working with us throughout the year. That's why we put that in front of our doors. So in alchemy, the horseshoe is also another magical representation and force. Just for nature, and the shape represents a crescent, and we always are using crescents, moon energy throughout the year. So this is why I also say it's big that you use horseshoes, because horseshoes not only used in Hoodoo and Voodoo, it's used in alchemy. So all this stuff is, to me, it all aligns up to the same thing. It's just different terminologies and different ways of life to conjure up things. And I also wanted you guys to really look into the Nag Hammadi. That's a book that explains the gymnastics. It explains how Jesus was an alchemist and how he was using alchemy. That's why in Hoodoo, you will know that a lot of alchemy and a lot of gymnastics is used in Hoodoo. So I can't really get into that because that's something that I'm sworn not to really just be out in the open with, which I do know I teach certain, ones that I'm called and led to teach. So I just wanted to get that out there as well. But yeah, in alchemy, the horseshoe symbolizes good luck, protection, and the potential. Your potential. You're using iron that represents earth, and fire, the force that creates the horseshoe. So the fire that creates the horseshoe is another element that makes this thing powerful. So this is another reason why you want to get horseshoes in your house or around you. Also, you guys have to learn how to use your soul and spirit as another element. You are element. Spirit is an element. Earth, water, fire. Earth, water, fire, air, and spirit. You are the spirit that completes a ritual. The soul is my soul is a fire. The soul is my soul is a fire. That's a Christian metaphor. They was telling us bits and pieces in Christianity in the Bible, how really our soul is fire. So that's another representation of why we represent fire and spirit in most alchemy rituals, and also in Hoodoo and Voodoo rituals. See, you really have a fire soul. And the fire of the Holy Spirit creates a burning passion that moves you forward, aligning you with the Most High and the will of the Most High. In Hebrew it reads, "For our God is a consuming fire." Now, if God is a consuming fire, an element, which makes sense to me, that makes us the same thing, a God that's a consuming fire. It's plenty of metaphysical books that explains how the soul is fire. That's why I tell you guys, don't get so caught up in, hell this, hell that, devil this, demon that, because a lot of this is made up for fear-mongering. They don't want you. I'm sorry. If you're using Hoodoo, Voodoo, Palo, or anything alchemy, you have to keep that verse in mind. You are gods. Yeshua and Jesus is telling us in Psalms 82:6, I said you are gods. Ye are gods, and scripture cannot be changed. You have to know this. So at the end of the day, you are gods, and you make a reality with all these things the Most High has given us. So I am done. So as soon as you bury your ritual, you're going to just see synchronicities where you will see feathers. You will see whatever it is you manifested to keep popping up. You'll see birds. You will start to see everything that aligns you with, okay, the universe heard you. Whatever that we tell the universe to do, it has to do. That's a universal law, guys. I'm going to say this again. Whatever we ask the universe to do for us, it has to do it. That's a universal law. So get all this bullshit, all this extra shit that's stopping you from being the better you and manifesting and attracting things to you, stop it. Be careful what you take in. And that's what I'm going to end this small ritual session on. Peace and light to you all. I am doing one-on-ones. I would prefer to do group or one-on-ones. I can't really teach in the opening like this because some stuff I just cannot show everyone. So feel free to reach out to me.